It's Batman time! Hello and welcome to another figure review. Today we're gonna have a look at the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Batman figure from the Flashpoint comic book arc, or I think they also made like an animated movie out of it. I love this design ever since I read Flashpoint, and the story behind it is also very cool. If you didn't know, this is basically Bruce Wayne's dad, Thomas Wayne, from an alternative universe where not the Wayne parents, well, not the Wayne couple were shot, but Bruce Wayne himself. So his dad became Batman and his mom became the Joker. I know it's crazy, but great story arc, great design. Let's have a look at the figure. For your size, this guy stands at about 18 centimeters to the top of his head, a little over that if you're counting the teeny tiny bat ears, which means we're going up to 7.2 inches tall. For your size comparisons, I got Jolter, Red Hood, and Darkseid. Overall look and detail of the figure, overall, there's a couple of things that are bothering me. First and foremost, I feel like his head is a little bit squished in, and maybe the mouth is sticking out a little bit too much. It kind of looks a little squished, kind of looks weird. That's really that, and the legs, it's just me on the legs are just a little bit long. It looks very anime legs, you know, because anime characters usually have longer legs. Not bothered by it too much. What I am though is the fact that once again it seems like the legs aren't completely straight, or maybe that's just because you cannot really rotate the legs around. It just stands out a little bit over there. It's not the worst thing in the world, but why did you do that, McFarlane? Please fix. So anyway, look in detail on the face. Payne is good for the most part. It does have some bleeding and it does go over the line there a little bit. I don't know about the beard on his chin. It looks kind of weird. Maybe put on too much paint, or maybe should have left this out completely. But it is supposed to give him that rugged look, you know, because like he's a lot more violent and he's older, and you know, he got like tons of battle damage also in the figure, so that kind of goes with that theme. The eyes are fantastic and nice and shiny, greatly painted. And there's some shiny parts on the cowl, which I don't really get. Why just some and not the rest of it? You got the nice cape with the shoulder pads, or whatever you want to call it. Shoulder bats. No, like kind of those things standing out. I'm a big fan of that, and I'm a big fan actually of the cape. How it's not super long. Like recently, the recent Batman figures I watched, they always had like giant capes and it was getting on my nerves. So this is just a nice floppy plastic cape. Has some wrinkles on it, has a good amount of detail. It looks good, looks nice, and it's not annoying. Then you got a glossy bat symbol, which is just glued on. You can actually see the glue, which is, yeah. Again, why? Why does this happen? This is not supposed to happen. I like the symbol though, it looks way cleaner than the Red Hood symbol, which I recently looked at. And then you got more muscle work and detail in the entire outfit. Again, it seems like the chest area itself is less glossy than some of the rest. You can tell the light is shining off of the torso over here, but not as much of there. That's more under the lighting though. You probably won't notice that once you pose the figure in like your its natural habitat. Got more battle damage on the gloves over here, which looks pretty good. And these little bat spikes was a little bit bent out of the box. It is fairly sturdy actually, which I like, because if it's too floppy, then it just flops around and it just never looks good. Got the red belt. And this guy, like I'm saying how he's supposed to be rugged, looks a little bit more rugged and whatnot. I would have really liked some shading on it, especially on the belt. Some, you know, a little bit of dirt effect would have gone a long way. But, I mean, if you can do that yourself, that would probably bump up the figure a lot more notches. But anyway, you got the nice red belt. It is completely floppy, does not get into the way of your articulation whatsoever. Got some pouches going on, and it does look very vibrant, and it makes for a cool look. I feel like you have like the muted gray and black, and then like the red just kind of pops. Got the knee pads over here and down to the boots with the ball hinges sticking out. Once again, a little bit too much for my liking, but that's something that McFarlane has been kind of bad at hiding these ball joints, but I mean, at least they're there. Speaking of the articulation, when I have a look at it, the head does tilt side to side, does not really go back just a little bit, and does go forward quite nicely, goes all the way around, For your shoulder articulation, you got the big hinge in there and connected via a ball, so you can rotate that. Bring it forward fairly nicely and up and down. Bicep swivel, which is kind of hard to access without moving the entire shoulder around, but it is there. Goes around. Double hinged elbow, which I can't really get this lower part to move around. You can tell that there is supposed to be another hinge in there, but I can't even move this one. So mines are frozen. Tried to heat it up actually, but didn't really budge. Then you got a ball hinge in the hand with it, which is ratchet, so it's nice and stable, but it kind of limits the range of movement, I guess. Swivel on there, chest area, moves to the back, does leave a gap, barely moves to the front, does tilt side to side beautifully, and goes all the way around. For the lower torso, you don't really have anything, just a tiny bit of wiggle motion, that's about it. And also not really swiveling, so that's unfortunate. The leg moves forward, leg moves out to the side, no problem really there. Doesn't really go to the back because of the butt. Then, for also another problem with the legs, cannot really rotate them around. I mean, you have not really any room there, and the way it's connected, it's just not budging. And that's another thing I really hope McFarlane fixes over time. Then you got double hinged knees with a nice knee pad on it, makes it look less ugly than it would usually. And then the foot is on a ball hinge, so it does tilt side to side, does go all the way around, does move forward, does move to the back, and you have a toe hinge. Now for the accessories, as known for McFarlane toys, you don't really have a lot, but they're focusing usually on the figure. But these guns look pretty nice, and the paint job on it is pretty good. Fantastic, actually. Love it. Then also you got a card with some nice artwork of good old Thomas standing in the lightning, in front of the lightning, have some data on it, and yet a base with a DC logo and a pack. And there you go. That's gonna bring me to the final thoughts for this Batman, and look at this pose. He does actually hold it for now, just that's impressive. Got like really strong joints, McFarlane. That's, how can I better display that? So anyway, I like this figure. I love the design already, and I feel like McFarlane Toys have done a really good job on bringing it to life. Shading, as I mentioned, would go a long way. It's sad that they don't really do that, but still, at the price point, I can understand. You do have some nice battle damage also in the gloves, the gauntlets, and especially the boots. I love the cape. The articulation does its job and hold the poses, but as usual, he's pretty light in accessories. And I just gonna say this: McFarlane Toys, Todd McFarlane. If you're listening, he's not listening, but if you're listening, couple of extra hands, like 1 or 2 sets, would go a long way. I'm just saying, I wouldn't even mind like paying a little bit extra to get that. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, overall this figure is pretty darn good. The problems with the legs don't really bother me as much. As soon as you get him into pose, it doesn't really become a factor anymore. And yeah, that's it. I like this figure, and I really recommend this figure. That's gonna do it, guys. As usual, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, if you enjoyed this review, hit it up with a like and subscribe to the channel so you can stay tuned for more figure reviews, card game stuff, and whatever Batman wants. Couple more accessories, really hands mostly. Thank you.